In the latest on the Russia-Ukraine war, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said that the dynamics of war have shifted in Ukraine's favor in the last 1 month. His claim that Ukraine's long-range strikes were especially significant. He further added that he has now approved more operations in the month of June.
This month saw changes in the dynamics in our favor, in Ukraine's favor. We are holding more positions and inflicting more damage. The impact of our long-range sanctions against Russia has been especially significant. Today, I approved our long-range action plans for June, and we must creatively expand Ukraine's long-range sanctions, which proved their power in May.
On the other hand, Russia's ambassador to the United Nations has said that Moscow had information that Ukraine had planned to launch military drones from Latvia and other Baltic nations. The envoy further added a warning that membership into the NATO military alliance is not going to protect these Baltic nations that were part of the former Soviet Union from Russian retaliation.
According to the information we received in Russia, Kyiv has no plans to limit itself to the use of the air corridors provided by the Baltic countries. Drones are also planned for launch from these countries' territories. Zelensky convinced Latvia to agree to the operation, stressing that identifying the exact launch site will be impossible. Drone forces have already been sent to Latvia.
Latvia's envoy to the United Nations immediately rejected the remarks as pure fiction. Ukraine's envoy to the United Nations has also rejected Russia's claims, calling them to be nothing more than fairy tales. Following the statement, the deputy U.S. ambassador to the United Nations warned that the United Nations was no place for threats against a council member and said that the United States will keep all of its NATO commitments. The Russian ambassador's remarks have come after Ukraine blamed Russia for redirecting one of its drones into Estonian airspace, where a NATO fighter jet downed it. Latvia then issued a first air threat alert over a possible drone entering into its airspace on Tuesday. Residents near the Russian borders were told to stay indoors, with the NATO Baltic air police jets being summoned to the area. It later said that it found no evidence that a drone had entered into its airspace, and then it declared a second air threat alert over 2 countries bordering Russia, leading to a fresh deployment of NATO fighter jets. A Ukrainian Foreign Ministry spokesperson has apologized to Estonia for the incident and has insisted that Ukraine is not using Latvian or Estonian territory to launch drone attacks on Russia. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.